The Hayward Fault, one of the most urbanized and dangerous faults in the United States. Millions of people live, work, and travel near the fault each day. There's a large earthquake on the Hayward Fault about every 100 to 220 years. The last one was 150 years ago. It's coming, and when the Hayward Fault ruptures, the roads, the pipes, the wires, the things that connect everyone to people and places will go haywire. The USGS and its partners have created a comprehensive, detailed analysis based on the latest science, a scenario depicting what might happen in a magnitude 7.0 earthquake on the Hayward Fault, before it happens. This gives us a chance to envision our vulnerabilities and a chance to prepare. This new scenario is set on April 18, 2018, the anniversary of the 1906 Great San Francisco earthquake and fire. The following scenario explores the possibility of a Hayward Fault earthquake. It is not a prediction, and a real earthquake on the Hayward Fault could occur at any time and may behave quite differently. April 18, 2018, 4:18 p.m. The earthquake begins. With an epicenter at Oakland, the rupture races 52 miles along the fault towards Fremont and Richmond at speeds of 7,000 miles per hour. In Berkeley and Hayward, the ground shifts 3 to 5 feet, ripping through buried pipes and wires. The USGS shake map shows areas of violent and extreme shaking, lasting up to 30 seconds or longer, causing very heavy damage. Away from the epicenter, a warning arrives up to 25 seconds before strong shaking begins. Impacts and destruction are magnified by a cascade of hazards. In the HayWired scenario, 800 people die and 18,000 more are injured. 2,500 people need to be rescued from collapsed buildings, while another 22,000 are trapped in elevators. In this scenario, 77,000 to 152,000 households could be displaced. Some East Bay residents lose water for 6 weeks and up to 6 months in the worst-hit areas. Lack of firefighting water could turn some of the more than 400 fires into conflagrations, burning the equivalent of 52,000 single-family homes. Who has power, water, gas, and communications? Every lifeline is disrupted to some extent. This could be the first major U.S. earthquake in the age of the internet. What happens in a disconnected world? Dozens of significant aftershocks and fault afterslip will cause additional costly damage, requiring repeated inspections and repairs. Property damage and direct business losses exceed $82 billion, mostly due to shaking, but also to liquefaction and landslides. Fires could cause hundreds more fatalities and an additional $30 billion damage, and would extend the duration of disruption. Few things are insured. How many people will move away? What will such a disaster mean to you, your family, and your community? Acting now can save lives and jobs, businesses, neighborhoods, and homes. The Bay Area has invested over $50 billion since the 1989 Loma Prieta quake, strengthening potential points of failure, infrastructure, and buildings. But these efforts need to continue and expand through your engagement. Use the HayWired scenario. Doing so will reveal actions that will lessen business disruption and improve our ability to bounce back. More actions like these will reduce risk, and creation of the HayWired scenario offers you an opportunity to do your part. Partners are continuing to come together to share interdependencies, resources, and solutions. Use the science. Come together, because together we can outsmart disaster.
Earthquakes can happen at any time, anywhere. You can't prevent them, but you can certainly prepare yourself. In the event of an earthquake, follow these simple steps. Drop down, take cover, and hold on. You can improve your safety and readiness by securing loose items beforehand and by having an emergency box of supplies ready to go. This should include water, non-perishable foods, and first aid supplies. Being prepared for an earthquake is just one way to ensure your safety. And remember, drop down, take cover, and hold on.
How good are you driving trailers?
I can drive trailers.
Alright, I'll let you kind of do your own thing, line it up and stuff, and I'll just... Good? You coming? Hey.
So what else will y'all be doing throughout the next, 6 days?
What if it's like this?
Yeah, because that'll be a fence. You want to put the antennas right.
Maybe antenna. I was thinking the generators on this side too, though. Oh, we gotta go.
Surf P, we have many different capabilities. We have a 50-man search and extraction team. We also have about a 75-man decon team. We have a 45-man medical element and a 11-man C2 cell. So if something does hit, like hurricanes or anything with sea burn factor, we can come in and decontaminate and also conduct search and rescue operations. Why it's important? I think it's important to keep up our readiness and always be ready for the unknown, whatever's going to come up. We should be ready doing these kind of exercises. I think challenges of a survey team in Hawaii would be, if we needed gear from the mainland, it would take forever. So we pretty much, whatever we need for a disaster, we probably would have to have it on the island of Oahu already.
This is a joint exercise about the New Madrid seismic zone, one of the most dangerous seismic zones in the world, and it's right at our boot heel. But the reality of it is, it's sitting there waiting to erupt, and when that earthquake does happen, we will see and we will need to be prepared. That's the purpose of this exercise, is so that we, as response agencies, partnered up, military, civilian, the response together, responding to the citizens of our state. People expect us to be already working together, already trained, and should see professionals arrive on the scene. What they're going to see is not only professionals arriving on the scene, but people that know each other, work well together, and have a plan to take care of their needs. Some of the challenges on the administrative side are communications. How do you make sure that everybody is interoperable, making sure that we're all on the same frequencies, making sure that we can communicate what we find and what we need to better meet the needs of the citizens. And then from there, the actual exercise itself, the scenarios that we have built. You've all seen the rubble pile down there that simulates collapsed structures. There are people inside those structures. In a real world situation, they're tired, they're hungry, they're cold, they've been in there, they're hurt. In this situation, yes, they're mannequins or they're role players that are acting out. But the real world incident of this is we need to expeditiously get there, both on the guard side as well as the civilian side, and take care of the needs of those folks. Because the clock is ticking on whether or not their survivability. Now this is just one site, and like I said, we've got Utah, Colorado, Missouri, Missouri Guard, Missouri Urban Search and Rescue Task Force. We've got so many different units here, and I know that of three other sites where things are going on as well. Every one of us that go to a gym, we don't come out hurting a little bit. We don't feel like we did a good job. Exercise is the same way. We need to find the things that we aren't the strongest on and exercise them to strength to where we strengthen those. There's a lot of people currently working to take care of this exercise and treating it as though it's the real thing. Because God forbid when it happens, and it's going to, we need to be prepared.
Ed Kriska, I'm a search manager from Missouri Task Force 1. And what we've just completed here, you've got the photos of it. We've just completed a primary search of this rubble pile here, which is, we're assuming is going to be like a hotel or something that's down for this training evolution. The reason it's so important is these people, as you saw today, some might be sitting out in the open and just injured or traumatized and can't move. We've got others that might just be unconscious, still viable, and others may be crushed inside here. We don't really know. And we don't have a good head count as to how many people were here. So our job is ultimately to be able to locate everybody that we knew was in this structure. So if you give me a head count of 50, I'm going to stay here until I find 50.
I am Eric Evans. I'm the J57 for Joint Forces Headquarters. So we're the lead National Guard agency, so we would be the dual status command, so we would take other National Guard forces and integrate them with our own, as well as bring in Title 10 or regular Army, Air Force, and other forces and blend those into our own operations so that we're working with the civilian government to respond to a natural event of that kind. So it's really a very large orchestrated collaborative event, which is a very difficult thing to do. The big takeaway is the soldiers are so happy to be here. I don't think it's because they're in uniform and they're away from home. I think they just, one, they love being a soldier. They know how important this is. They like the training, they like the environment, and they do this for a reason, and it's not because they get paid really well, and it's not because they're away from home. They like serving.